Davide, the last time we met up, software-defined systems was a hot topic. Where are we now?
Yeah, you're right, Kevin. It was already a big topic. But what has changed since then is the context that we are all operating in. So if you remember last time, we have already talked about the main challenges that companies are facing right now, right? In a innovating process that are accelerating at a pace never seen before. We are struggling in finding new skilled workforces. And the requirements are shifting literally every day. Of course, to make our customer as happy as we can, but they are literally changing every day. On top of that, if you think about it, in the last month, a lot has changed. Both customers and companies, they have faced a level of volatility unlike never seen in years, at least. We have supply chains that have become so fragile. We have fuel costs and logistics costs that have raised up and changing every day. So in such a continuous changing environment, now the question that we are asking ourselves and our customer is, how can we act efficiently when change is the only constant? Back here to some years ago, companies, they were keep innovating for stability. So hardware-defined is very reliable, but it's not that flexible.
True, you built it, it's there.
Exactly. So what you need today is to be more flexible. And the efficiency of the hardware that is still needed, we cannot get rid of it. Even when we talk about software-defined systems, we are not saying that hardware is not relevant. It's fundamental. Okay, but hardware alone, efficiency alone is not any more enough. We need to be capable to adapt as fast as we can. And this is exactly why software-defined systems have become so important in the last 7 months since we met last time.
When you say software-defined, well, what does that mean? Like, before I would design I'd come up with my design, I'd build my hardware, I'd plug it in, it's working. Now what do I do?
Well, let me give you a more concrete example to let you understand what do we mean with software-defined system, because it could sound a difficult concept or a buzzword somehow, but actually, you know one thing? We all know already software-defined systems. I'll give you an example. Some years ago, we all were used to have different devices to accomplish different tasks.
Yep.
You want to watch a movie? You had to buy a TV. You want to listen to some radio music? You had to buy a radio. You want to make a phone call? You had to buy a phone. And the problem was that every time a new functionalities or an update was released, you had to buy a new hardware, a new device.
Yeah.
Right? So I remember I had my first phone with Italian keyboard. I had to also send messages to my German boss, and I was in Germany, and I had to buy another phone because I needed a different keyboard. But if you think about that, today it's completely different. Because 20 years ago, roughly, the first smartphone as we know it today has been launched. And now we have one device that fits our pocket. It's that small.
And I can have different keyboards on it by changing the setting.
Exactly, you can customize it. So you have multiple devices in one. You can customize it according to your preferences. And if you need a new functionality, let's say that you want to do some math, you don't need to buy a calculator. You just download the right app. And this is exactly what we are doing at Siemens when we talk about software-defined systems. We are bringing the value of the smartphone to the industry so that our customers can orchestrate everything from product to production via software.
Here specifically this week, you're talking about software-defined vehicle.
Yeah.
Can you elaborate on that?
Absolutely. So software-defined systems, let me take a step back, is an umbrella.
Right.
Under this umbrella, we have different categories, okay? Because what is a system can be different things. And more specifically, today at Siemens, under the umbrella of software-defined systems, we have software-defined automation that makes products and production line being more scalable and efficiently and react in real time based on data, not anymore on hard-coded logic.
Okay.
On the other side, we have software-defined products. And software-defined vehicles is an example of a software-defined product. Now, at Siemens, we do not produce software-defined vehicle, okay? But we allow our customer, thanks to our products, to build software-defined vehicles using a software-defined automation.
Okay.
Let me give you an example of software-defined vehicle because maybe I could elaborate a little bit. Okay, for a second, let's imagine a vehicle like a car that receives over-the-air update, just like your phone.
Yep.
Okay, with a centralized control system. Like you want to have an update on your infotainment system, or you need a new driver assistant feature, you just download it. You go to the shop and you download the right app and boom, you have it.
I'm not going to the garage and they're lifting the hood and taking stuff in and out.
Exactly. You don't even need to visit the dealer anymore.
True.
Is there a security gap to be fixed? It happens automatically. So you may think that these kind of vehicles are very futuristic, but they are not.
They're here today.
They're here today. Can you imagine driving your car without any infotainment or any ADAS system? Not anymore, right? So we are there already. Software-defined vehicles are a reality. What is the problem? Producing them is not easy because having updates as subscription, it could be very, very critical from a security point of view. I'm pretty sure that you don't want to drive your car on the highway at a high speed while the new update that has been released to your car has never been tested before. So what happens is that in order to make those updates, let me refer to them in this way, reliable, you need to go, as a producer, you need to go through hundreds or millions, even better, of simulations.
Okay.
But you then should test the new release on every vehicle of your fleet that is already sold to customers. That's physically impossible. And here, where Siemens can help, we can provide software and hardware. We have a portfolio that supports our customer producing cars or any other software-defined vehicle to make tons of simulation in the digital world at a very high speed. So we provide the capability to them to simulate virtual sensors, virtual electronic central units that are the brain inside the cars. We can have the complete digital twins of the vehicles to test it in a virtual world.
Before anything is rolled out to anyone.
Exactly. So you can identify and solve issues long before you sit on your car to drive it.
Where does industrial AI fit into the software-defined system?
Well, it is crucial. I mentioned the number of simulations that you have to do before you release a new update to a software-defined vehicle. We can do that manually, of course. We used to do that, but it's time expensive. It's really time expensive. So AI here helps us to make hundreds or millions of simulation at a very high speed and process in seconds all the output of those simulation and feed back in so that you have a continuous loop of improvement boosted by AI. It's absolutely fundamental. But it's also true the other way around. AI is based on data, right?
Yep.
At a very base level. I mean, without data, you don't have any AI. But the amount of data that you have to evaluate has to come from somewhere. You need a seamless way to send the data from the edge devices, a shop floor if you are in a production line, or the central unit of a car, up to the central unit or up to the cloud sometimes, okay? To do that, in a seamless way, you can leverage on software-defined. So virtualization, why that? Because software-defined enables you to use both IT and OT processes and methodologies. So you can virtualize. Here we have a lot of virtual PLCs example, for instance. You can have over-the-air updates. You can have low coding. All these kind of things are the foundation of software-defined that allows you to feed AI, industrial AI better, with the right information at the right time in a seamless way.
So it's almost a convergence of different methodologies, technologies. It's only day 2 here at Hannover Messe, but any takeaways from yourself?
Well, I saw a lot of people hanging around with footballs, things.
Brazil is the partner country.
Exactly, flags. I would like, after the interview, I would like to go and check them. But no, really, I'm really impressed. And even speechless. That is not very common for me. But the amount of the energy, the amount of people, the vibe that you can feel here is something amazing. Absolutely, you can really live the technology. You can feel it. You can experience it by yourself, and that's something amazing, including software-defined systems, of course.
Thank you very much, sir. That was
My
great.
pleasure. Thank you so much. See you soon then.